What is going on, Crimson Tide fans? Chris Daughtery here with the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. We've got another flip for you guys today. Three-star running back Javari Barnett has now flipped from Illinois to Alabama's 2026 recruiting class. He ended up taking his official visit this past weekend, where Alabama, Robert Gillespie, Courtney Morgan, all of these guys on this Alabama coaching staff did a fantastic job, and they were able to get him to flip his commitment from Illinois now to Alabama. Now, if you guys are fired up about another commitment here, make sure you drop a like on today's video. The more likes we get, the more commitments the Crimson Tide will get. And now that official visits have now officially wrapped up, they're now starting to really roll in. So help me out. Make sure you like today's video for me right now. All right, let's talk about it. Javari Barnett now committed to Alabama. He is a three-star, number 30 running back in this class. Unfortunately, last year, his season actually got cut off pretty short. He only played 3 games last year, but in those 3 games, he actually did a pretty damn decent job. 30 carries for 249 yards, averaged over 8 yards per carry. That is absolutely insane. Also had 4 touchdowns in those 3 games as well. And you know, he did suffer a knee injury, like I said, and I know some people might be a little bit iffy about that. And yes, he is a 3-star, but he only played 3 games last year, so it's pretty hard for him to, go up the recruiting rankings when you don't play for the entirety of your junior season. But it seems like Alabama is pretty solid and confident that that injury is not going to be able to hamper him that much. This is what Tim Watts of BamaOnline said about the flip and the commitment now of Javari Barnett. He said Alabama has done their due diligence here and believes Barnett is poised for a huge senior season. Talking to sources near him, they feel the same and believe he is completely over his injury. That is a very positive thing. As usual, Robert Gillespie is heavily involved with the running backs, but Courtney Morgan also took special interest here. Barnett has been quietly trending to Alabama for some time, but the official visit put Alabama over the top, and it didn't take long to know where he was going to end up committing. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be in the comment section. There are going to be people on, the Facebook comments who are upset about Alabama landing another 3-star in this class. The only thing I have to say to those people is, look, just if there's anything that you guys remember from the 18 years that Nick Saban was the head coach of Alabama, it should be to trust the process. Yes, he is a 3-star. Yes, J.J. Finch is a 3-star who committed yesterday as well. But I think this Alabama staff should get, the benefit of the doubt considering what they did last year in that recruiting class. You think about guys like Keelan Russell, Latsier Brooks, London Simmons, all of those guys were 3-stars when Alabama ended up offering them originally. And you saw them, as they went through their senior season, they ended up going higher and higher and higher in those recruiting rankings. You think about a guy like Keelan Russell as well, who ended up being the number 2 player in that 2025 recruiting cycle. Robert Gillespie, he's done an insane job when it comes to evaluating the running back room. Can you really point to anybody in the running back room right now or in the past for Alabama who has been a flop? There's really not many that Robert Gillespie has really been involved with who, have not been good running backs. So, I'm going to trust him. I'm going to trust this Alabama coaching staff. Even think to a guy like Josh Jacobs, all those years. I say all those years ago. It seems like it's been a really long time now, but he was a 3-star coming out of high school, and Alabama almost did not even take him. It ended up coming down to Nick Saban just minutes before he ended up committing to call him and say, hey, look, I guess, we're going to end up taking you. So he ended up committing to Alabama. So don't just go and jump on that, I'm super mad about these 3-stars. Or I saw somebody yesterday saying that this was a recruiting nightmare, that Alabama, doesn't have 6 5-stars already committed to their recruiting class. Just calm down. Just chill out. This Alabama coaching staff did a fantastic job in only a couple of months during last year's recruiting cycle. Now, they have a full year under their belt. They've been going through, they've been building these relationships now with these players for over a year. They're doing a decent job. And this is just one now that has, flipped his commitment to Alabama. We're going to talk about some predictions as well for some 5 stars here that I know you guys are excited about. But let me know, what is your confidence level in this Alabama coaching staff in terms of recruiting? Personally, I think it should be very high. I think it should be at least around an 8, really, is what I think it should be. But let me know. This is a free country. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments section. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. Go let me know down at the pinned comment of today's video. Now, BamaOnline did also report that this is not going to affect any other recruits at this running back spot. And E.J. Crowell is definitely one of those guys that Alabama wants in this recruiting class as well. He is right now technically a 4-star, but I think by the time everything is all said and done, he's going to end up jumping up and being a 5-star here eventually. He does have a commitment date set up here on Thursday, so we're just a couple of days away. June 26th is when E.J. Crowell is going to end up announcing his commitment. 5'11", 205, number 33 player overall, and the number 2 running back in this class, as well as the number 3 player out of the state of Alabama, which is just incredibly impressive considering this guy, school-wise and age-wise should just be going into his junior season, ended up reclassifying, but E.J. Crowell going to be announcing his commitment as well on June 26th. Now, BamaOnline also placed 2 more official predictions for wide receivers, including 5-star wide receiver Cedierian Morgan. This is definitely a guy that we've been talking about a lot, and this should also, make some Alabama fans out there who might be a little bit, iffy about some of these 3 stars committing. This one, should get you excited. Cedierian Morgan, the number 12 player in this class. He took multiple official visits: Colorado, Georgia, Florida, Auburn, Alabama, even, took a what I guess would be an unofficial visit back to Colorado just last week, it seemed like. Unless it was an old photo, like he posted a photo, him in Colorado gear at a restaurant in Boulder, Colorado. So I'm going to assume that he made another visit there to Colorado. But now the BamaOnline staff has put that official prediction in. He commits on July 2nd. As of right now, you never know how things could change. But Cederian Morgan, getting him in this class would be an incredible upside, and it would definitely shoot Alabama up those recruiting rankings. I think after that commitment here today by Javari Barnett, Alabama's still like 35 or something like that in the 247 rankings. Now, they place a lot of emphasis as well on the number of recruits. Alabama only having 9 right now doesn't do them a whole lot of justice, but once they start getting some of these players, maybe you land an E.J. Crowell, maybe you land a Cederian Morgan, that Alabama ranking is going to go sky high after those. The other wide receiver that Alabama is now predicted to land here is Owen Cable. He's another guy, a 3-star guy, but I definitely think he is extremely underrated for where he's at right now. Ran an impressive 4.40 at Alabama, one of Alabama's camps a couple of weeks ago. Ended up receiving an offer for them. You can go on Twitter and you can just, look up his name and you can go over to the media side and you can find some video of him actually at that camp. I said it the other day, I don't know a whole lot about evaluating recruits, but seems like Jamarcus Shepard really did like what he saw from them, or from him. There's video online that you guys can go see as well there. Don't be surprised if he ends up making a big jump here in his senior season as well. Number 29 player out of the state of Tennessee. He's from that Nashville area. But in 2024, had 43 receptions for 973 yards and 13 touchdowns as well. Owen Cable, 6'2", 201 here. Another player that now has been predicted to Alabama. We've got one more prediction that we're going to get to here in just a second, and then we'll wrap it up. Talking about Alabama's entire recruiting class here in just a second. But first, I want to give a shout-out to our friends over at Fanatics. You guys can go get set up with your 4th of July Alabama Crimson Tide gear today. Just go over to chatsports.com/Bama4th. I'll put that link down in the comment section and the description of today's video. All right, Rael Kelly has also been predicted by the BamaOnline staff to commit to Alabama, and I keep saying it's from that BamaOnline staff because it is important. Those guys, when they place their official predictions, it seems like 9 times out of 10 they're correct, and it ends up going Alabama's way. Another guy at that safety spot, lower-ranked guy, but he fits that mold that Kane Womack seems to really like at that, really any of these defensive back spots. 6'3", 180 pounds as well, out of the state of Ohio. He is from Winton Woods High School, so you do have that connection there as well to Justin Hill. Jorden Edmonds is another guy that's been predicted to Alabama in the past. I don't really recall if the BamaOnline staff put a prediction in, but I believe Steve Wiltfong did put a prediction in for Jorden Edmonds. He's the number 2 safety in this class as well. So when you kind of round things out right now with Alabama's 2026 recruiting class here, you only have one 5-star at the moment. That is Jorden Edmonds. He is the number 1 cornerback in this class right now. But then you got the number 3 cornerback in Zyan Gibson. I believe he's also like the number 4 player out of the state of Alabama. So there's a real opportunity that you could land the top 4 players from the state of Alabama in Zyan Gibson, Anthony Jones, E.J. Crowell, and Cederian Morgan. That would be a massive, massive haul for Alabama if they can get those guys. You also got Jett Thomalla on here recently. J.J. Finch was yesterday. Javari Barnett today. I really like the defensive line class. I know, you got some lower rated guys there, but Kamarion Johnson to me is extremely undervalued, and I think Jamarian Matthews is an incredible talent as well. Still probably looking for one more player on the offensive line, still doing some more work on the defensive line as well. But as of right now, I think things are shaping up really, really nicely for this Alabama recruiting class. So as of right now, you've only got 9 players in this recruiting class, but let me know. Go ahead and grade Alabama's 2026 recruiting class so far. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section.